Number one is you got to build out understanding who you are, what your gifts and talents are. The second one is your values, what you value in your life, what's important to you. The third one is your standards you set for yourself and for others and how you live your life. The fourth one is your duty of what you do in your life: love, lead, protect, provide. And then the other one is your purpose, which is the fifth one here. And really leaning into that is helping you find your brotherhood, which is 6. And then the seventh one is knowing your enemy, how to fight, how to fortify, and how to find a brotherhood. Hey friends, Nathan here. I got an idea that I really want you to think about here is, if there is situations in your life right now that you're not happy with, that you're frustrated with, it's probably due to something that you're not doing or doing that's affecting those sort of things. So in my effort for this, let me kind of outline some things that I've done to really kind of help me pursue those questions, those unanswered things and resolutions that you need to create to help you. So this is what I call kind of building out a life plan. So first and foremost, what you want to look at is helping you identify what you're gifted at. Right? This is helpful for you to kind of process and kind of build a fortitude of a little bit of like who you are in a sense. So write down, make a list, get aside, your journal, a pen and paper, allowing you to kind of think through a little bit of like who you are. So what are the things that people talk to you about? What are those characteristics that make it look like who you are? So like, are you a strong communicator? Are you techie or whatever it is? Like try to look and write down some attributes and characteristics of who you think you are. Okay. And this is helpful for you to kind of look at some other elements with your gifts and talents that you could pursue that helps you really build a life of purpose and duty, which I'm going to get to in just a minute. The next one is looking at your values, right? What does this look like that you really hold to dearly? So you got to look at some of these elements with your values of not only who you are and what you value. Like, do you value excellence or things that are beautiful, or you value things that are done excellently or done quickly? Whatever those are that are really important to you, take account to in those attributes as well. So for me, like as an example, for me, my core values is growth, excellence, and impact. So what are those elements that are driving me there? And then you could also look at other elements that contribute to what you value. So first and foremost, for me, it's like my relationship with my God and how I am serving and honoring him. The second one is my family, right? The importance of my family. I do the fire drill test. Who do I grab? What do I grab? It'd be my family, right? And then the third one is, how am I impacting others? What is my life contributing to? So some core values and things to think about there. The next one is like your standards. Like, what do you expect for yourself and other people around you? What are those standards that you have? So this is helpful for you to kind of think through a little bit of like, what do you treasure most about some different things that are important with your day-to-day? This is how I encompass who I am, what am I becoming to do, what am I doing? So like some standards are like, hey, do I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep? Do I eat healthy? Do I exercise on a daily basis? Do I read the Bible? Do I pray on my knees? Do I cry out to God? Do I read educational books? How do I interact and live with my family? Do I spend time with my kids and my wife? Am I doing helpful things to help you contribute to your core values of things? The other thing is your duty. So that's the fourth one here. You got first and foremost your giftings and your talents. Then you got your values. And the third one is your standards. And the next one is your duty. This is your core family. This is your principles of how you live this out. So there's 4 quadrants I look at here with doing and fulfilling your duty. First is who you're leading, how you're loving them, protecting and providing. Leading, loving, protecting, providing. I love this encompassing of how you're really doing your duty as a man or a woman that is following Jesus. So this is really helpful for you to articulate. Fourth is your duty. So how are you building your core value? So your duty. So this looks like your core things and your duties that are really your key responsibilities in your life. There's 4 quadrants here that are really important. First is, who do you lead, right? who do you love and how you love, and then also how you protect and how you provide. And this kind of goes into, how you live out your life. So how do you lead spiritually for your family? How do you instruct and discipline them? How do you plan your vacations and your time and your day and your life, right? How do you love? Are you looking at those, the love language, affirmations, active affections or touch or gifts or time, some of those elements that you need to look at of how you're doing that within loving your family and loving them well. Are you protecting them? Do you have a game plan to protect them in harmful situations? Are you someone that when you're walking with your wife, are you on the other side of the street, protecting oncoming traffic? Like, think about that, or systems for security, for guns, those sort of helpful things to look at protecting. Providing, this also comes down to kind of what you do on a daily basis to make it rain or make money or provide for your family. So these are, your jobs, your responsibilities to be able to provide well for your family, to have food on the table. So this also leans into your purpose in a lot of ways, which is also helpful for setting up a place for your purposeful duty. Right. And these kind of go hand in hand. And you see a lot of this time where they don't overlap. You've seen to extreme, like, hey, my mother or my dad did this type of job. They didn't love it, but they did it because out of duty and responsibility, they did it. And then you got more of this day and age where we're looking for overlapping duty and purpose. What is the kind of purpose and things that I'm doing that also help provide? Right. And so when I look at purposeful things, there's a lot of elements that we want to look at. More often than not, your purpose also leans into how you make money, right? And so the top things that I always look at when you're looking at trying to make more money and provide, there's two major skills that stand out in my mind that's very needed. A third one that's optional here is, first, you need to be able to have a skill of learning to communicate well. So sales, marketing, persuasion. And then the other one is that marketing skill. So the technical setup of all that, but sales and marketing can overlap as well with those skills. And then the third one that's optional, if you like doing that, is coding, right? But as AI develops, who knows what that ends up looking like. The one thing that sales is that I think is really important is that you need this in every scenario of your life to persuade a potential prospect of your wife, right, to buy into marrying you. Also, like convincing your kids to eat their vegetable, or to get a job, you have to interview well enough to persuade them to hire you, or to have sort of things with a job to do it. So sales is nuanced in a way that it has a bad press about it, because you see these guys like Wolf of Wall Street that has kind of ruined those reputations. But really, when you look at your purpose, it's looking at things that you love, that you like, that you can talk about all day long. You end up just having a job that sells those sort of things, right? And so there's a big overlap of what you like and are passionate about that also helps cross into, what your purpose is. So if you're looking for a six-figure job, I would looking at sales. That's a lot of what I teach. Down below, you can contact me a lot about that. The second one is marketing. Right now, I don't have any course on that, but I've done a lot of marketing before. Marketing is a good skill and training to be able to do that. If you don't love talking to people and you geek out of moreover, like I do, about systems and processes, marketing might be a good route to look at with building a six-figure skill set. The other side of things, to make 7 and 8 figures, is looking at building a business. And that business, in my mind, there's two big ones right at the moment that stand out. Is one, you can have a coaching business, right, that help other people. Or the second one is helping you have an agency. And there's some different companies that do this well, helping you know how to set these up. I will look into that. If you need some suggestions, hit me up. I don't mind suggesting some of those connections and things. But that's a way that you overlap your purpose, where you feel like you're contributing back. You're having a skill that's really highly paid, that allows you to contribute to your duty and fulfillment of your life in a lot more ways. And then also purposeful, if you want to lean into build a business. Those are other aspects of that. The sixth quadrant that I won't lean into a whole lot, but is you need a brotherhood. So a brotherhood is helping you, push you toward your greatness, what your purpose and your duty is, to call you out on your BS, and helping you push yourself to do and fulfill what you are called to do. The seventh one, let me hold on, man. 7 is understanding your enemy. Now, understanding your enemy is helping you combat. How do you fight your enemies? Is you first have to know how to fight and do that well. The second one is to build a fortitude, a boundary set up so they don't have to fight. And then the third one is a brotherhood or a squad of teammates that help fortify, that give you that security from the enemy and from those things. So the common ones here is not necessarily with someone with a gun to your head every single day, but you're more often looking at many things. Yourself and the enemy. Your enemy, who is Satan, out there to kill, steal, and destroy, and all his minions there to try to hinder you from accomplishing your purpose and your duty as a man, doing what you need to do. But you also have your own self. And yourself is sometimes your worst enemy. So what you got to look at is building that fortitude. Knowing how to fight against it looks like preparing yourself and being aware that there's an enemy there. When you realize that, you can then build a fortified boundaries around yourself with some of those vices and temptations that help you not even have to fight. The best way to fight is not have to fight. Okay? So you got to really set yourself up to be able to achieve that. And then having a brotherhood around you helps you have that accountability that you need to fortify and to fight well. So build those sort of things out, and those are going to be really helpful. Just to really recap here, number one is you got to build out understanding who you are, what your gifts and talents are. The second one is your values, what you value in your life, what's important to you. The third one is your standards you set for yourself and for others and how you live your life. The fourth one is your duty of what you do in your life: love, lead, protect, provide. And then the other one is your purpose, which is the fifth one here. And really leaning into that is helping you find your brotherhood, which is 6. And then the seventh one is knowing your enemy, how to fight, how to fortify, and how to find a brotherhood. So I hope this helps. Leave down in the comments below some different things that you would suggest that would help others. And then if you need some help, hit me up. I'm down below there. Looking forward to helping you on the future here. Fight hard.